Good day, everyone. I am Priscilla Caputol, an Ed 305 student, Section J, Friday 5:30 to 8:30 p.m. My second chosen topic is from Chapter 2 entitled Performance Assessment, and the topic is Analytic and Holistic Rubrics. These rubrics are used for evaluating performance-based and product-based tasks. An analytic rubric resembles a grid with the criteria for a student product listed in the leftmost column and with levels of performance listed across the top row, often using numbers and or descriptive tags. The cells within the center of the rubric may be left blank or may contain descriptions of what the specified criteria look like for each level of performance. So when scoring with an analytic rubric, each of the criteria is scored individually. It is a two-dimensional rubrics with levels of achievement as columns and assessment criteria as rows. It allows the rater to assess participants' achievements based on multiple criteria using a single rubric. You can assign different weights or value to different criteria and include an overall achievement by totaling the criteria written in a table form. Here are the advantages of using analytic rubrics, which includes it provides a useful feedback on areas of strength and weaknesses, and the criterion can be weighted to reflect the relative importance of each dimension. While holistic rubrics is a single criteria rubrics, or it is one-dimensional, used to assess participants' overall achievement on an activity or item based on predefined achievement levels. Its performance descriptions are written in paragraphs and usually in full sentences. A holistic rubric consists of a single scale with all criteria to be included in the evaluation being considered together. For example, the clarity, organization, and mechanics. With holistic rubrics, the rater assigns a single score, usually on 1 to 4 or 1 to 6 point scale, based on an overall judgment of the student work. The rater matches an entire piece of student work to a single description on the scale. The advantages of using holistic rubrics includes it puts emphasis on what the learner is able to demonstrate rather than what she or he cannot do. It saves time by minimizing the number of decision raters make. Next is, it can be applied consistently by trained raters, increasing reliability. That is the nature of analytic and holistic rubrics. Now, to strengthen your understanding about it, here are its examples.
First, we have an example of analytic rubric for poetry writing. It has 4 criteria and 4 equivalent ratings. First, we have beginning, which is equivalent to 0 to 2 points, developing 3 to 5 points, accomplish 6 to 8 points, and exemplary 9 to 10 points. The first criterion is the title of the poem. For beginning, it presents a title that is not clearly associated to the poem. For developing, it presents a title related to the poem. For accomplish, it presents a creative title related to the poem. And for exemplary, it presents a creative and appealing title that summarizes the message of the poem. Second is we have organization. For beginning, the sequencing of words and phrases is random. The reader can find no evidence of thoughtful ordering of ideas. For developing, the sequencing of words and phrases is very confusing, and the reader may need to use his or her own knowledge to determine the ordering of ideas. For accomplish, the sequencing of words and phrases is somewhat logical, and the reader is able to follow the ordering of ideas with minimal effort. For exemplary, the sequencing of words and phrases is logical, and the reader is able to follow the ordering of ideas easily. Now, the third criterion is word choice and main idea. For beginning, the poem uses general ordinary terms to describe an idea, and the words do not develop the main idea or message. For developing, the poem uses general or ordinary terms to develop the main idea. The message and its relevance to the theme have a sense of ambiguity. For accomplish, the poem uses several descriptive words to develop the main idea. The message is clear but less relevant to the theme. For exemplary, the poem uses many precise, vivid, and descriptive words to develop the main idea. The message is clear, comprehensive, and relevant to the given theme, such as peace, unity, and solidarity. Lastly, the fourth criterion is creativity. For beginning, the lines in the poem have no imagery, rhetorical devices, and rhythm. For developing, the lines in the poem contain less imagery and rhetorical devices and no rhythm. For accomplish, the lines in the poem contain minimal imagery and rhetorical devices but with rhythm. And lastly, for exemplary, the lines in the poem contain imagery, rhythm, and rhetorical devices. Our next example is a holistic rubric for poetry writing. It has 4 evaluative criteria with an equivalent rating scale. Now, the first criterion is the poem is outstanding in every way. It is well structured and all the lines are coherent. It begins with an appealing introduction followed by stanzas with lines that contains imagery, rhetorical devices, and with rhythm, and ends with a clear message. The poem is clear, complete, comprehensive, and relevant to the given theme, such as peace, unity, or solidarity. There are no errors in spelling, format, grammar, and contains excellent word choice. It also presents a creative title related to the poem that is equivalent to 31 to 40 points. The second criterion is a good poem is adequate in most areas. The poem is coherent, well-structured, and clear, but a few parts require a light editing. It has minimal imagery and rhetorical devices, but still with rhythm and shows relevance to the given theme. There are few errors in spelling, format, grammar, and word choice. It presents a good title that is relevant to the poem, that is equivalent to 21 to 30 points. The third criterion is a fair poem is lacking in a majority of areas. It is generally unorganized and unfocused. The message of the poem and its relevance to the given theme is not clear. Most of the lines are underdeveloped with unclear imagery and no rhythm. There are frequent errors in spelling, format, grammar, and word choice. The title shows little logical relation to the poem. Its only saving grace is that despite all of the errors, there appears to be a legitimate effort put forth by the writer. That is equivalent to 11 to 20 points. And lastly, a poor poem generally needs further explanation. There are significant problems throughout. The message is often lacking and visual imagery is vague, lack of focus, and unorganized. The poem shows no understanding of the basic line structure, coherent stanzas, and overall theme. Its title has no logical relation to the poem. The effort on the part of the writer is not enough and perceives lacking in general areas. This is equivalent to 0 to 10 points. So those are examples of holistic and analytic rubrics. I hope you learned something for today's discussion. Thank you so much for watching.